everyone to another edition of Lupus Talks. I'm super excited today. I'm your host, Ed Peterson, and we have, of course, Ms. Calvina Williams and, of course, Mr. Lois Olson. I call them the tag team duo of Lupus Talks, so that way they can be sharing some information and insights to helping you get to the levels that you need to get to in your quality of life and understanding the actual roots of where it's come from and how to help your family members, if you know people who suffer from the autoimmune disease or those who are suffering from the autoimmune disease, things that you can do as well to enhance your life. And then also making sure that you have a community of support. That's the most important thing, is to have a community of support. And that's what Lupus of Nevada is all about, helping every community across the country as well as around the world, that those who are suffering from the autoimmune disease understand the facts thereof and what you can do on a regular, consistent basis. So with that, Dr. Williams, you can take it away.
Thank you, Ed. I'd like to thank everyone for joining, and I'm asking you to subscribe. We need that. We need your participation in our journey with this podcast, so please help us out. Today, there's a lot of topics going to be talked about, Dolores and myself. One, which I'm stumbling over, I just found out that lupus, you can have seizures with lupus and seizures. And they said seizures are one of the most common neurological symptoms of lupus, affecting about 10% of those living with SLE. What are the causes of lupus seizures and how are they diagnosed and treated? And it says, it's going to give me, it's talking about introduction. So let me go there. Seizures, and I'm getting my information from kaleidoscopefightinglupus.com. Kaleidoscope, and we're going to send this to our site, to Lupus of Nevada site. Seizures are defined by Epilepsy Foundation as a sudden temporary change in the electrical and chemical activity in the brain. That's major, because I suffer from headaches all the time. Migraines get into me. If I'm not eating or if I'm stressing on something, I get it feels like electric shocks going through my brain. This activity in the brain, which leads to a change in a person's movement, behavior, level of awareness, and or feelings. I'm going to get right to it. It says, although some lupus seizures can be serious, most do not significantly affect a person's quality of life. Seizures can occur at any time of the disease, though 32% of those experiencing seizures do so right at the time of their lupus diagnosis. And so I had my lupus diagnosis and I didn't have that. So thank God. I hope I don't, I hope that doesn't come upon me. We're going to speak life through God, through Jesus Christ. Seizures are more common in lupus patients from African descent. About 75% of seizures experienced by lupus patients are generalized seizures called topic clone seizures. And about 43% of SLE patients who experience one seizure event will experience recurrent seizures or may develop epilepsy later. Now, we've had some people that have had seizures and have epilepsy. So that they said, we saw, they said it was bad. It was really bad for them, but Lupus of Nevada had a chance to see that in action. So, Dolores, I'm going to give this to you. Have you ever had anyone in the family member that has seizures or epilepsy?
No, I haven't had anybody, but I heard of cases of people having seizures and that from all different types, because anything, it just depends on how the person's health. Some people health are, but I heard of cases that people fell and they bounced with their head, because of the seizure, and they had to protect their head from getting cracked because it is really serious.
I had a recent fall. It was a bad one. I lost my balance cleaning out my baby, my kitty, cleaning out his stool. And he's really neat and everything. Everything was neat back there, but I wanted to make sure it was, it was just to my taste. And I fell. And I know you know that Dolores. I felt real bad last week. And the hurt in my arms and my neck came back. That's something I have to tell my doctor tomorrow because I'm prone for falls. So now I have to make sure that I am aware of where I'm at. I am aware that I'm between, I'm at the door, and open your legs and make sure you have that cushion on your legs. Make sure you have that strength, that if something happens, that strength, you can hold it at that door. So, the knob of that door or the bed or something like that, don't get up quick. They said medications for this, several medications are known to cause seizures or lower the threshold. One is antidepressants like Bufferin, Benadryl, some stimulants like cocaine and methanol, tramadol, synthetic codeine used for pain, and notably hydroxychloroquine, which is Plaquenil, though this happens very rarely. That is, it's a shame that a lot of us have to be on all these different medications. That's why I think the doctors actually see us some of them see us every 3 months, but some of them see us basically every month, because they want to see what's going on with the disease. Because as you get older, things happen. That's why all those tests are taken. And I went and got my colostomy, and the other one I got, and the doctor was rolling out with me in that wheelchair and said, "You don't have cancer." And that was a blessing. He didn't have to do that. So we have a follow-up with that as well. But getting everything done, people, that's what I'm talking about. Getting everything done in your body is important. You can walk around all day and be dead the next because you haven't followed up on your body. Your body, cries that it needs help. It needs help. There's basically, what is it? There's basically signals that will tell your body. Don't, like if I eat, when I was eating too much candy, too much sweets, basically sweets and pies and cakes, I don't do that anymore. My whole body would itch. And I figured out that's because I had too much sweets. It was alarming me. It was letting me know you're at that zone, Dolores. You're at that high wheel. You're getting ready to go over the border and you're getting ready to get diabetes. You better slow your roll. So I drank a lot of water and things like that. But again, like I said, this is about trying to figure out what's going on in your body, how to control your body, how to take care of your body, and how to communicate with your doctors, that we know about seizures, we know about epilepsy, we know about the blood thinners. You have to know almost more than your doctor concerning lupus. When they say consult your healthcare provider, please do. But when you do, make sure he knows that you know what's going on in your body. Dolores, you have anything to say? You want to talk about your topic?
And yeah, and then I'm talking about when it comes to sciatica and back problems that we have. It could be for any form, any diseases too, that can cause it and stuff, and how we can cope with the pain that we go through these conditions that we have that affects our sciatica, affects our back, our spine, and all. And what we could do about it, like I said, there's always a disclaimer on here, that we just say this is the stuff to help us,
That's right.
But you always ask
That's right.
your doctor, and that this is just some self advice and stuff. Educational. But what we can do to comfort ourselves is make sure we do like some light stretches and that to help us with our back. Don't overdo it or anyway, because we do encourage you to exercise, because exercises will do wonders, but you do it lightly, but don't do it heavy exercise. There's 5 things that will be right with you through your doctor. Discuss what your doctor will be best to do. And then also too, diet. It plays a role with your diet too. Like staying away for a lot of refined sugar, because refined sugar does affect the joints, more salt, and everything. You have to just make sure they have a balanced diet. Make sure you have your fruits and vegetables and your protein, because protein plays a role too. It's very, very important.
That is so true. You know, you have to know because the overall situation is inflammation. You know, especially during these times with bone problems, this, that. The doctor said, well, you have inflammation. Um, you mentioned something that I hope I didn't fog it out, that you talked about dealing with exercise. Uh, how you have to do that for the rest of your life if you don't see your therapist, or do you? Is he doing that? You know, where you have to be aware that you're not going to be with him 24/7, and you have to be aware how to take care of your body through the exercises.
Yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely. It's a lifetime change like that. You must stay consistent with exercise. And like I said, when you discuss with your doctor, you just make sure that to have an exercise plan that's safe for your joints and that, because not
Mm-hmm.
everybody can do X, Y, Z. Then somebody else can do X, Y, Z. So everybody is different. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's why we
Mm-hmm.
have to always discuss with our physicians, because we don't want to have
Mm-hmm.
inflamed
Mm-hmm.
because of the we're doing the wrong type of exercise, and then all of a sudden we're
Mm-hmm.
hurting ourselves more. We got to
Mm-hmm.
do things at a comfortable level, and with my plan, it's walking and strength training. And I could do it in a safe way with the strength training. Just make sure it's light weights, not heavy weights, because
Mm-hmm.
my body can't take the heavy weights right now. I have to build myself up, and
Mm-hmm.
it takes a while. It takes a while to build up your body, and once your body is strong enough, then you can go to the next level, if on a safe level, but not when you just finding out you had XYZ with your back and stuff like that. You need to make sure that you're doing things in a life form that's safety.
Yeah, you could do yoga stretches, you know, because I do that at times. Is that what it's called? Yoga stretches? Because I'll do the stretches in the morning time, making sure I'm leaning up against something, stretch my arms, do my neck from one side to the next. I do that like 5 times on each. I put my chin down on my chest and I go up and down, the chin on the chest up to the top of my head. That's so important to make your bones limber. If you don't do it, they're tightened and that causes a lot of pain. It causes a lot of problems, and you just have to be capable, and you just have to want to do it. I'm gonna say that, want to do it. This is not a baby show. This is a adult show, an adult show podcast that we hope people are listening and take to heed what we're talking about with our central nervous system and how it works for us and what we should do and how we can locate these things in our body. Because sometimes I have chest pains. And I think that's why my doctor sees me every month, because I'll have chest pains and they check my heart. Nothing's wrong with it. But still, three-fourths of African American women die of cardiac arrest. And that is so true. That's that inflammation in the chest cavity. And I told them that, and they said, oh, when did you become a doctor? I'm not. I'm not a doctor. That was a joke. Okay, a joke. Um, what I'm doing is reading and researching. Just like now, I have little tremors in my hand. So I picked up a plastic cup the other day, and my hand was just shaking. And I wondered why. I thought it was the coffee, Dolores, like I told you. No, it's not the coffee. A lot of, as you get older, I've seen middle-aged women, who are in the store and who are store clerks. Their hands start shaking. I'm going to ask him about, I think it's TD, tremor medicine, to actually offset that, to make it minimize it, because I don't know why it happens. I'm going to research that, the tremors in our hands. Um, he already checked my shoulders. I think I told you I was getting it checked out, and he said that my shoulders are shot and my arm is shot. That's because of all the times I did for 33 years. Lifting this in a nonprofit, moving this box, moving that box, getting things done. And that's the wear and tear on your body. And it's something that we should be aware of. We can't wear and tear our bodies. This is our only body. So Dolores, it's so important that I keep saying that you are aware of your body. I think you say the same thing with eating, eating right. Don't eat the wrong thing. With stress, people stress you out. I go directly to my bedroom. I come because we call the front room and I being on an island because we very seldom come in and we look at the television, look at movies. But I go straight to my bedroom when they start talking certain things I don't want to hear. So we got to be aware of that. Dolores, do you agree?
Yes, definitely. I do agree.
Yeah, because it's something else. That just being angry can offset a seizure. It can, or epileptic attack, or can offset well, not offset, can make the chest hurt. The pains in the chest will start hurting, and I'll take some baby aspirin for me. I'm not telling you guys to take it because the disclaimer is we're educational awareness and advocacy. That's what Lupus of Nevada does. We've been doing it for the last 20 years, giving you the educational means to make it happen in your body because all our bodies are different. We're diagnosed with the same disease, but our bodies are different. But there's so many people, and please pray for the people on Facebook. There's so many of our babies, and I call them my babies because I'll be 70, I think, next October. But I'm 60. I'll be 69. And I thank God every day I'm that age because I didn't have to get that way. I could have died when they said, I don't know. I think she's not going to make it. We have so many deaths on Facebook with lupus. Some of these girls have just got their doctorate degree, just got their master's. I'm not making a big thing of it, but to me, they accomplished something and they didn't get to finish it. And I think that's how they were feeling. They didn't get to finish it, but God said it's finished. So we cannot argue with God. He takes care of it. But we in flesh with the sin, having flesh sin, we think about, oh my God, she was so young. Why did this happen? Why did that happen? And we're not to question that. We're not to question that. It just happened. They were here for a moment. They helped many of us. They helped us on Facebook, questions, comments, just back and forth. That's what Lupus in Nevada does. If you comment on something, we'll get back to you. And that's what we want to do with you. Have that conversation with you. We don't know everything, but just have a conversation. I have people calling in all the time asking about woman 70 years old. She's got lupus. I think she's 74. She has lupus. She's just been diagnosed. African American woman, and she wants to be a part of the team. Matter of fact, I'm supposed to send her an invitation, and I'll tell Ed we need to send invitations out to people so we can send them out to whoever if they want to be a part of it. So, Dolores, is that what you were thinking as well? All those people, because I told you about all those people dying. It's something
Yes,
else.
exactly.
It's a tongue. It's a tongue. What should I say? You trip over your tongue, because you're just saying, "Oh wow, wow, wow," and then you think about your health and you think about why you've been here. You focus on the good times. You focus on the family. You focus on things that will make you happy. Like we talked about a journal. I think you talked about that last time. Dolores, would you like to expound on that?
Yeah, journaling is really, really good because that helps with your thoughts and it helps you to calm down too. When you journal and write down how you feel and put some good thoughts in there too, because you want some good thoughts, positive thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
and that I try to avoid the negativity,
Mm-hmm.
thoughts. Put
Mm-hmm.
things into like even if you're feeling a certain way, to say I feel like this, but I'm blessed to be here or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
good
Mm-hmm.
to detail like that, but we want to more important is not to put the negativity. We want to keep
Mm-hmm.
it all positive.
We do. We do. And like I said, once you do that, then you open that door to everything happening to you. I mean, everything. I'm going to tell you, I had some problems last week. My friend of mine, it's not funny, her computer burnt up. Her and her husband were trying to print Jeremiah 29:11, that burnt up. My tree went down and they got to cut it. It was on, some parts of it was on the house, and my neighbor cut it off of there, and he's got to cut the rest. The water went from $19 to $89 because 3,000 gallons are rolling around underneath the ground. From 10:30 to 10 p.m. at night. So I have a plumber coming out before 4 o'clock today that will take care of it. And I want to tell you guys, if any of you own houses, make sure you have a warranty. We've had a warranty for 20 years, not just warranty, you have warranty on the house, but you have to have warranty, security warranty under the house. The pipes, are so important. A lot of people in this, where Ed is at, I think they have that type of coverage too, because if it's snowing, the pipes break all the time, and you have to have that coverage, or you're going to end up paying $7,000 to $8,000. And so that's what's important. That's why the rent goes up, because the owner has plumbing problems when it gets so icy and cold. When it gets really hot too. Because it's been 110, 115 here, and things can happen. We watch our bushes and everything, because it's so hot, it can start a fire itself. That's why we water it down. So, we do all of that. But the main thing, we can significantly impact a person's physical and mental well-being, if we approach management style. You know what I'm saying? If you get that help, I'm with my therapist, and I have another appointment with her next month. And it's just important. People say, I'm not going to no psychiatrist. I'm not crazy. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, it is good to have someone listen to you. Because quite frankly, our kids are not going to listen to us. They are busy. They don't have time. Mine will say, and he probably will be listening to his podcast, what you want, Mama? I got staff in here. What you want? What you need? Sometimes you don't hear what you need, Dolores. It's like, I need to talk to you. And as you get older, I used to hear my dad talk about that, and he would always be around for my disease. I got this, I got that. And he would make comments, well, what, did you do this? Did you do this? He was an older gentleman. And he would say, well, rub this on it, rub this olive oil on it, that. But our kids have it's not that they have forgotten, they're in their own world. And I know the depression comes on with people, the loneliness, the social isolation. Those are feelings that are so important to us dealing with any kind of disease. And it's crucial to understand that lupus affects individuals differently and with symptoms of severity, varying widely. And some experience mild symptoms and others face life-threatening symptoms. Others stay in the hospital because certain things happen to them. Quite frankly, more than it happens to the person who has lupus. And I thank God that for the last 26 years, I haven't had any internal problems. I just had a knee replacement. My cousin Dolores was there for me with my knee replacement. But the main key is, like she said, the journal. And you've got to put down social isolation. Put that down. Do you isolate yourself? I told my therapist, I don't like to go out and look at people. She had me there for 3 months, Dolores. She gonna come back in 3 months. I said, quite frankly, I don't like looking at people. I don't even like being around them. You know what she did? I told her she changed the appointment to 1 month. She thought I was losing. I just tell her, I don't like to go see people. I send my brother into the store in Walmart to go get stuff, because I couldn't really move right. I was handicapped with, the aches and the pains, and I didn't want, even though they helped me. Find out when you go to the stores if they have those buggies that you can ride in, and get familiar with the managers so they know your problem. They know, not problem, they know the issues of that illness that you have. And it's not a problem, it's just an issue with the illness. And talk to them. And they'll make a way. If there's no carts available, they'll have their clerks run those carts down for you. Make yourself known when you go into these different stores, because there was times I couldn't hardly walk. I couldn't hardly breathe. And they were there for me. And I think that's so important, because it makes me feel that I'm important to somebody. Somebody loves me. And that's all lupus people want to hear. Somebody loves you. When they smile at you and say, you know what? I love you. That is so important. Is it not, or is it, Dolores?
Yes, it is. It's very important.
Would you like to expound
It's
on
very
that?
important. It's very important that to hear that somebody cares for you and they love you and they're in your corner.
Yeah, it's so
That's the
important.
best thing.
It's so important because that could be, well, it could be more of a death sentence when no one says anything. I don't care about you. I don't want to be around you. All that. What that does, it actually brings on that depression and brings on all the things that hurt your body, the inflammation, the chest pain, and all that. And it just might, I can't say to carry you away because the physicians will tell you that. All I'm telling you is suffering from all those depression modes is so important because it affects the body in many ways that affects my body that, I can't think. I like to write all the time. And I need that creativity in my mind rather than somebody saying nothing to me. But when I told her I like to be isolated and I don't like to see people, I was hurt. I was hurt. I'm sorry, y'all. She gave me a month so quick it would snap your neck. So I guess she thought I was, well, I don't want to say the word, but I was asking for help. I told her I was asking for help. I'm tired. And I tell them on the phone, you could tell your therapist this or your family. Just stand up in the middle of the floor and they all in the firm. I'm tired. I am tired and I need your help. They will shut up. I've done that. They will shut down the conversation, and the conversation will be with you. What can we do to help? What's wrong? What's wrong with you? And that's important because you need family to listen to you. And my son will listen to me if I just said, I need help, And he said, what kind of help? I said, help. I'm hurting. What did you call your doctor? No, I called my son. Well, I'm not a doctor, Mama. I said, you are my son, and that's compassion, love, and just caring for me. That's what you want. And that's what lupus people want, with their mental health. If they have mental health, they want that caring aspect, that someone cares about you and you're just not getting old and nobody wants to be bothered with you. Because we all get old through the grace of God and the kids go on, but you got to snap them back and say, hey, I'm here. I'm here with this lupus. Come back here. Don't go too far. So it's funny because mine told me, well, I'm just build a house, a shack, a mama shack in the back or something. I'm not going to go to no mama shack where I can babysit my new grandbaby. Oh, no. I have a life. And I'm enjoying my life. Not say I wouldn't babysit, but I don't want anyone over me. You know what I'm saying? They start bossing you at a certain age. And lupus people that I've talked to feel the same way. They get bossed at. They act like they're babies. Dolores, before we end this, do you have something to say with your sciatic nerve and the conditions dealing with your family and the help and all of that?
Yeah, I already when I mentioned about the sciatic nerve and stuff too, and speaking of that too, when you when a person's in stress going through that too, it could cause more pain. So we got to be very sensitive to people who's dealing with pain issues, any pain issues, anything they go through,
Yes.
because it can affect our bones as well too.
Yes, it can. When you can't move and the joints hurt so bad you couldn't even raise your arm. It was hard to turn the steering wheel, and you were always in the room crying or not crying, but hurting. And my brother I have to give kudos to him because he was always there giving me cold water because I love cold water or room temperature. But I really wanted the cold water. I wanted to freeze something out of my body. So it's good to have. If people don't have that, do a buddy check. Come on, you guys. You can do a buddy check by phone. How you doing? What's going on? What do you need? The numbers I have, I said, I just called you, see how you doing. Is there anything you need from us? That's important. It's called that buddy check. That's what lupus came up with 20 years ago. Call somebody. Let them know you're alive and that they're alive and we care for them. That's so important. It's getting to, Dolores, you have anything to say before we wind up and give it back to Ed?
The main thing too is take care of yourself. It's
Yes.
very important to take care of yourself.
Amen. 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 Thank you. Ed, it's on you.
All right, all right. Well, it was a great topic, great show. Really enjoyed listening to both of you all today, and we're going to be posting and showcasing this, okay, ladies and gentlemen, as our YouTube channel as well as our Facebook page. Lupusofnevada.org is the website. We'll be continually sharing tools and tips and information that's going to benefit everybody across the board. So any inquiries, anything that you may have to donate to this cause, you can always go to the website at lupusofnevada.org, as well as on YouTube channel, like and subscribe, of course, and share any inquiries or anything that you may have that you might want to share that may be a topic that they can talk about, reference to that, and what you guys are actually dealing with yourselves. So that'll give us more insight to see what's relevant out here, what's going to be good in the communities, and then again, all about the support system. That's going to be the most important imperative piece as we talk about, checking on each other, following up with each other, and making sure that everybody is good and need whatever their needs are, that we can try to address it as much as we can. So, any last thoughts, Dr. Williams? And
All I want to say is be good to yourself. Be good to yourself. It's all right to, treat yourself every day. Treat yourself and know that you love you and you can make it with the grace of God.
I like
Dolores?
I wish too. I'm going to continue with that subject right there. I always too. When you treat yourself good like that, it does the body good.
It does. It really does. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for this
And wait a minute,
edition.
Ed, she should know because she's buying a whole closet full of clothes.
Oh, okay.
And boots and everything else.
All right. All right. Getting ready. That's all right. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
And for those who love to shop, that's a beautiful thing. I like nice things as well. So it's all good. So anyway, we want to thank you all for this edition of Lupus Talks. We'll be back on next week, next Tuesday. As we continue our growth series for the month of August. And then you can always check out my website at globaltouchenterprise.net. Again, fill out the form. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions or inquiries, I'm here to assist and help as we continue to build a cohesive network. When I say cohesive network, I'm talking about us coming together collectively, utilizing what I call the PHP effect, people helping people. The more we stay focused on this, ladies and gentlemen, the better we come out. So with that, have a great afternoon, and ladies and gentlemen, keep the faith and keep building your dream. Peace out.
Ed, can I say something?